Butterfly pull-ups are one of the most challenging CrossFit gymnastics skills that you can learn, especially as a new athlete, just because the movement pattern itself, for lack of a better term, is pretty awkward and really hard to grasp at first. So instead of trying to do too much too soon and going for the full butterfly pull-up, we want to scale this movement back, break it down into a couple very easily understandable, manageable pieces and drills so that you become much more comfortable with this circular movement pattern. So the first one we're going to start with is butterfly circles with a box. Now in this drill, all we're going to do is focus on moving your upper body through that circular motion. We're taking the lower body and the legs completely out of the equation right now, just so again, we can learn to control half of our body first, and then we'll add in the other half later on once we start to grasp this movement, okay? So let's walk through the setup of what we're about to do. First thing is your grip on the bar. So our butterfly grip is going to be a little bit wider than the traditional kipping pull-up grip, just because we need more space between our hands to be able to push our chest forward, making sure we're moving through that full range of motion, that full circle that the butterfly pull-up requires. If you take a kipping pull-up grip or one that's a little bit too narrow, we're not going to be able to move through that full range of motion because we're going to be stuck. We're literally going to be in our own way. So you want to make sure that your hands are set a couple inches outside the shoulders, just so it's as comfortable on the shoulders as possible. From there, you want to make sure that your feet are sitting directly in line with the posts or directly underneath your pull-up bar. This is just to make sure that as we start to trace this circular motion and do our butterfly circles, we are staying completely balanced on both sides of the bar at a time. If your feet are too far backwards or too far forwards, your circle is going to be off and it's going to be either behind the bar or too far in front, which is going to kind of throw our entire movement off track. Okay. Now, what you want to do is come into a fully extended hang, completely relaxing the shoulders at first. Having a little bit more of a relaxed shoulder position is going to make your circles much more fluid, and it's going to help you understand this movement pattern, getting more comfortable with it at first. So you're going to pretend like you just jumped to the bar, landing in more of a hollowed position with your chest, moving into your big tight Superman, and then we're going to take our chest and start tracing our circles one rep at a time. Now what you can kind of think of if you're an athlete who likes to visualize is a big circle perfectly underneath the bar. What we're going to do is we're going to take our chest and we're going to trace that circle over and over and over again. The biggest thing here to remember is making sure you trace the full circle and you don't cut off an edge, right? We want to make sure you're pushing as forward and in the front of the bar as possible, and then coming all the way behind the bar as back as possible. Really to exaggerate this range of motion so we start to introduce your body to what it should be doing when we're doing the full RX movement, okay? Now, at the top of your circle, you're going to notice that your head comes pretty far in line with the bar. So in order to make sure we have space for your face, you're simply going to lift your chin at the top of each rep so that you can easily continue to move through that smooth circular motion even as we rise to the top of the pull-up. Let's take a look at what a couple reps look like. So start completely beneath the bar, shoulders are relaxed, hollow, arch, and now we go for our first rep. Tracing the circle all the way back, coming onto the toes, lifting the chin, and pushing all the way forward. All the way back, shoulders are still relaxed, toes, chin, pushing forward. Now, when you get pretty comfortable with this circular motion, that's when you can start to increase speed. But at first, when you're starting to just get a grasp on what we're doing here, go slow. Go slower than you think you need to. Just because when we introduce speed into movements too soon, it just gets really confusing because you're trying to control and do too many things at once. So slow and strict. Once you've got it, then we can add speed and move and speed this movement up. And that is the first step in learning our butterfly pull-up. Hey, if you made it this far, that means you must have liked the video. So go ahead, make your way over to Instagram. You can follow me at Katie Brazil for tons of more content.